Hey guys, and welcome to Crosstalk. I'm David Madera, your host, fellow entrepreneur, and biggest fan of a good success story. Here, business stories don't just get told, they come alive. This is your front row seat to the incredible journeys that shape thriving businesses and ministries. Every episode, we sit down with inspiring business owners and ministry leaders to uncover their beginnings, the story behind their brand, and their vision for the future. It's all about real conversations, genuine insight, and a whole lot of inspiration. Did you know that a small town business can thrive with the right community and social media strategy? Live Holistic is proof. On this week's episode, we are celebrating Live Holistic's 1-year storefront anniversary in Hamburg, Pennsylvania. Join me as I chat with Liv and Dan about their journey as business owners, the power of social media marketing, and the miraculous moments that shape their success. Plus, Liv creates a custom skincare routine for yours truly live on the spot. Don't miss this inspiring conversation and discover how Live Holistic is making a difference, one swap at a time. Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Crosstalk. I'm your host, David Madera, and I'm here with
Olivia Schaefer
and Dan.
And they are the proud owners of Live Holistic, the wonderful holistic store that's in Hamburg. And we're gonna chat, talk about their story, and let's just dive right in. So I'm just gonna start with why Hamburg, of all places, like a store like this, you'll see, like I live in Reading right now in like the Moten area. So like there's plenty of stores like this there. Mm-hmm. In Hamburg, this is just so profound. Why Hamburg?
Well, I graduated from Hamburg, class of 2011. So this has been my hometown, like where I grew up, where I'm from. And I just want to see Hamburg thrive. So if I was going to start a business, I wanted it to be in like my hometown. And I see a lot of potential for Hamburg. I see Hamburg growing into a more thriving, like upbeat town from what it used to be, or maybe what its reputation is of being like an old town. It is an old town with a lot of history, but I think we can also have like new and thriving businesses too. Yeah,
it's cool because I graduated from Hamburg too, 2017. Mm-hmm. And this town has always just had like that part in my heart where wanting to give back. That's why I came back to start coaching. Mm-hmm. I was living in Schuylkill County for a while now. I'm Reading, just like travel all over the place. But there's always been like, my heart has always belonged to Hamburg in ways. And it's really cool because as soon as I saw your business come in, then I started seeing these other businesses starting to pop up as well. And not to say that you guys were really the catalyst, but you guys were really the catalyst, of I think these other businesses being able to have the confidence to come to Hamburg, to open up their doors and to give it a try. Mm-hmm. Because I think watching your business succeed in the niche market that you guys have mm-hmm. really opens the door for all these other businesses to really start and open up. And I think for the revitalization of Hamburg that you're talking about and that we're starting to see develop, I think 5, 10, 15 years from now, when we look back to where Hamburg is then mm-hmm. to where it started, I think that conversation is going to happen that like, it kind of all started when Live Holistic came to town,
I would love that.
Well, I'm just going to call apples apples here because and Dan, I know you and I have had this conversation before of when it comes to businesses and everything, when you see a business with this type of niche market come to a small town, now if there's somebody that's wanting to open up a business store, like talk about AEC that just opened up, that's also another store that you see a lot in more urbanized areas. Mm-hmm. But if I was a business owner and I would see, okay, well there's a holistic store that's doing pretty well for themselves and I have this XYZ idea, maybe that will succeed as well. Mm-hmm. And I think, like I said, I just want you guys to understand, like me personally, genuinely believe that a lot of the success that Hamburg has seen recently is because of you guys taking the leap to start the business here in Hamburg.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So how did you guys get into the holistics business? Mm-hmm. So we talked about why Hamburg. Now let's talk about why Live Holistic.
It's the lifestyle I like to live. So that's why, like, during COVID, I returned from the Peace Corps where I was living in Fiji, and I came back to no job, moved back in with my parents. Nobody was hiring during COVID either, and I've always wanted to have my own business, and I just thought, like, wow, this seems like a good time to start working towards something. So I just started posting more on social media, which I started doing when I was in Fiji, because Dan was like, you have to post on TikTok. And I'm like, no. TikTok is for like teenagers. Like, no, thank you. And he was like, no, for real, just try it. So I did, and continued to post on TikTok when I came back to the US and everything. And I was just sharing, I really like doing DIY recipes. So I was just sharing non-toxic DIY cleaners and non-toxic DIY like hand soap and everything like that. And one thing led to another and snowballed. And that sort of catapulted towards, when you're making non-toxic DIYs,
People want to buy it.
Yeah, people want to buy it. Yeah. And you also start looking at ingredients in everything, products that you're buying too. So I started looking at more ingredients of what I'm using, and started just sharing what I was learning on TikTok. And my business just really grew from there.
Yeah. And when I said people want to buy it, is because when she was sharing those contents, DIY, doing this, dish soap, sugar scrubs, body butter. So what she started to realize was that people love the content, but also a lot of the people that were watching, they don't want to do it. So they were commenting and they were saying, if you make it, we'll buy it. You know? How about if you just make it?
Yeah.
So that's actually where, like, just behind us, that's the sugar scrub.
Bath bombs.
Yeah, the sugar scrub right there. And that's one of the DIYs that people want to buy. She started like making them at home, and she started selling them, and that's the start of Live Holistic as we know it now.
Yeah, the sugar scrubs, shower butter, and bath bombs were 3 of my first products.
Okay.
Mm. And it's funny that those were also one of the reasons why we brought the Live Holistic store, which is the physical store, because after a while, we stopped selling those products on an online shop because it was hard to ship. Mm-hmm. Like bath bombs would break, the sugar scrub would leak. So for a couple of years, we stopped selling those online. Yeah. But then we always wanted to sell them. And one of the reasons why we created the Live Holistic store, where we are at the moment, is so that people can just come in and pick them, and so that we can start making them again. And it's kind of...
And people love, especially the bath bombs lately. People have been asking, like, because we're out of stock right now, we need to make more.
Hopefully by the time this goes up, you guys have more stock. Yeah. Right.
Oh, man.
But
we love making them, but people keep buying them.
Because it's a process to make them. We have to make them, let them like fully dry before packaging them and everything. So it's the timely process.
Yeah.
And we make them in small batches too. So.
And all non-toxic, clean, organic ingredients too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great. So, started during COVID.
Yes.
Started posting DIY online. Mm-hmm. Primarily started with TikTok, against TikTok, for TikTok. One, I think the biggest things to know about Live Holistic is you guys have such a strong follower base and following on all different media platforms. Mm-hmm. How has the use of social media marketing really helped transform your business and really allow you guys to have the success that you guys had pretty much from the get-go of opening the doors here?
Well, I started repurposing the TikTok posts to Instagram, to Facebook, to YouTube Shorts, to Pinterest even. And I think showing up consistently and with passion, like talking about things that I love, I feel like that helped a lot. Maybe you have more insight.
No, that's true because a lot of people, a lot of businesses, they find it difficult to go into social media and market their products or their business on social media, which is understandable because it involves new technology, phones, and applications that the interface is hard to navigate through.
Right.
But even with that, when we started, we realized that we couldn't afford paying for ads on the newspaper, the radio stations, and like forget about TV ads, like or billboards.
Right.
We realized that this is like they are super expensive, and so that's also why we continued with social media posting. And what Liv mentioned was to be consistent with it. And that's really key because a lot of people think that they have to perfect it. But the key to it is to be consistent. And through consistency, then you will perfect it along the way. Because the people that are the consumers or those who are consuming your content, most of them don't really care much about how the quality of how you're making it. If you have good lightings or good microphones, they just care about what are you presenting to them. It could be as simple as showing them a new product, or if you are if you are a barber, showing them like before and after, like cutting someone's hair. And maybe if you're in like manufacturing or whatever, like show them the behind the scenes and like this is, and it doesn't have to be a long video. It can be like a short video, and that's the power of social media because like everyone is on their phones right now, and it's free. And another thing that we realize is even if 20 people watch your video, those are still 20 potential customers. And for small businesses, like 20 customers can pay your bills. And that's what a lot of small businesses may be struggling with. But I just want to encourage everyone that, just post whatever that you want to post. And for Live Holistic, it has been a huge part of, she does a lot of work on it, like on posting every day.
Even like when TikTok says like on this day 3-4 years ago, and I see that video and I'm like, oh my. Like, ooh.
That wasn't perfect.
But you see what's so funny with that too is it's not just you guys, of course. It's anybody that makes content. And for me, and we've talked about this, I hate doing this type of stuff, like being on this side of the camera. And what I've noticed though is because of, I have that innate thing in me of, I'm like, well, it doesn't look good. And then I try to perfect it and do everything. But when I realize, and I have to keep reminding myself of the fact of like, but it doesn't have to be perfect right now. I will, as I keep putting out the content, as I keep doing this stuff, a year from now, we're going to look back on this interview and with the interviews that I'm doing then, and we're going to be like, oh, wow, like that was cringeworthy. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they allowed me to do that with them, But that's the thing is like, we just learn as we grow. And I think the society that we live in now, we're so used to seeing, no offense, but people that'll have tens of thousands of followers plus seeing the content that they've done. But this has been 5 years in the making for you.
People don't see, it's like, that weird inspirational poster of a glacier, and 80% of the glacier is underwater, then the little tip is at the top, and all the work happens in that 80% of the glacier that's underwater that people don't really see. For
the iceberg.
Oh yeah, the iceberg.
We're not cutting that out.
The iceberg.
But I guess a glacier would also have the 80% underwater, so we'll give you some credit.
I don't know. Whatever Titanic hit.
Titanic hit.
They hit the 80%.
They hit the 80%. All right. Good save.
That's true. And
Sorry.
no, and also when I was talking about perfection and consistency is key, because the other reason why now consistency is way more like important than perfecting it is because of the scrolling culture. You can people pay for like $100, $200, $300, $500 for someone to make a perfect video for them, but that perfect video people will just take like a few seconds to scroll over it.
Yeah.
So that's why like for us, we understand that, and we know that we'll try and make it good, but we're not gonna put a lot of work in it as long as we get the message across.
Right.
Because we also understand that it'll just like a few seconds people will scroll.
Yeah.
So
There's one example of that when for like a video where I did put a lot of work and effort into it. I wanted it to be like really pretty and perfect.
Yeah.
That video kind of flopped, but then like a video shortly after that was just proving that I don't have extensions in my hair. That video performed really well and converted to a lot of sales for the hair care routine that I use. So it's like that one video took me 30 seconds to make, the very unedited. So the video where I put maybe like 3 hours of work and a lot of thought into it didn't perform as well.
Yeah, I can attest to that too. So when the first one of these that I did was with Alyssa at AEC Market, and I had this whole plan of I was going to do these overlays of the video in the shop, and I was going to get everything ready. So her ribbon cutting was Saturday. I recorded the video Friday, and I was like, oh yeah, that should take me no time. Forgetting that I also had a busy evening, I was like, oh shoot, like I'm not going to have time to like do any edits. So I just threw it up, and I just posted it, and I was like, all right, whatever, I can edit it later. And we were talking about this before, but within the first hour, it already had 1,000 views.
Wow, nice.
And at this point, I think it's at like 14 or 15,000 2 weeks out. And I still see people that show up in my notifications that have liked it or commented on it. And just seeing that, I was like, that was one of those things for me where it really hit. And I was like, like if you look at the video quality of that, not the best. I didn't know how to use that the best way yet. I learned like 2 days ago now how to use that the best. The mics, the Ultra HD versus just the Full HD, like all the different settings. I just learned how to do it now that I'm starting to take this more seriously. And that video is a little pixelated.
Yeah.
Very awkward in my opinion because it was the first one that I did, and it still got a ton of views just because of it wasn't the quality that people cared about. It was the content and the message in it, right?
Yeah. And I think showing up authentically really speaks volumes, and people love to see that. So it's not just like a social media algorithm, it's real people that are behind that are seeing the video and engaging with it and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're talking about social media, and for most businesses, that's an issue. You guys rock with social media.
Thank you.
But when it comes to you guys getting started in a business of this nature, especially in a small town, I'm sure brought up its fair share of challenges. And we were talking a little bit beforehand of some of the ways that God has been providing for you guys in ways that you could have never imagined. Do you guys mind sharing some of those stories?
I feel like you shared this one really good. I can
Well, yeah. Well, she already mentioned that that studying in Hamburg, it was something that we knew it was gonna be challenging, but our conviction was way more powerful than the challenge. That like despite what's gonna happen, like we were gonna work through it, and like look at ways in which we can make it work, because for those who don't know, that our business has been running for at least 4.5 years before we opened the Leaf Holistic store, and And with that, there were a lot of challenges that came with it.
Right.
And but we've always wanted to give back to the community. And then what we've noticed is whenever we try to do that, people don't really put a face to the name, Live Holistic. Like, we'll sponsor this, we'll give back to these guys this way and that way.
Yeah.
But we realized, no one really knows who we are. But it's not really about knowing who we are. But
Right.
That's one of the reasons why we're like, we should open a shop in Hamburg specifically, because that's where we wanna give back. But
And
then
have like a home base too.
Yeah.
Like a home base to Live Holistic is Hamburg.
Yeah. So, but before that, like I mentioned, we've been running for a couple of years before we opened this shop. There were a lot of challenges that we came across, and we always plan. We were talking about this earlier that
Yeah.
we have like a 40-point plan on doing this, on marketing, on how to develop the business, how to grow the business, because Live Holistic is a multifaceted business. It's not only the shop that is running. We have even a media business that is running alongside Live Holistic, where we do brand deals, and then we have an online shop that we are running separate from this. And there are a lot of other facets of the business that a lot of people don't see.
Right.
But we're glad that we're still able to run all of that.
Yeah.
Just the two of us.
Just the two of us. But with all of that, one thing that we realize is, even though we have all of these plans for all of these parts of our businesses, we realize that some of them, we achieve milestone in some of them without even planning it. We'll put it in our notes, or we'll put it in our whiteboard. We have a whiteboard at home. But we have no idea how it came to be honest. She will attest to, we both attest to it, that
Yeah.
we have no clue at all. It's something that we think about, that we long for. We put it in writing, and then it just happens. And we're like, wait, this is how, how
Yeah.
it's you just question it, but then you just have to accept it, and that's why we attribute a lot of our success in our business and in our personal life as well to God, and we really truly believe that, and we're thankful to everyone that are always praying for us and always committing our lives, our relationship, our family, and our business. So yeah, there are a lot of stories that we can share on that.
One story in particular that really stands out is when we launched our essential oils, is that Dan and I were saying maybe in 3 to 5 years, we'll have our own brand of essential oils, because I was partnering with a lot of different essential oil brands as an influencer. And we thought maybe we can launch our own. I use essential oils every day. I love them. This would be perfect. They're in a lot of DIY recipes. And so we wrote it on our whiteboard, which is not just a whiteboard. It's 5 feet by 4 feet, a huge whiteboard.
So that's like a white wall.
It's our white wall. So we wrote it down, and then 1 or 2 weeks later, we get an email from this this guy who we've been working with for a different brand. And at the bottom of the email, he basically just said hey, P.S. if you ever wanted to launch your own brand of essential oils, I know how you can, I can
proper way, and
I can guide you through that process, and
have it lab tested, have it
organic certified, USDA organic certified.
Wow.
So the whole 9 yards. And the funny thing was, we were already trying to, I think we were in the process of buying the bottles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Empty bottles.
Yeah.
And then we were gonna design the labels, and then we were gonna try and figure out, how do we fill these bottles with quality essential oil?
Yeah.
Where
Right.
do we source it from and
Yeah.
stuff like that? So we were in that process, but it was just like just 1 week in. Like we were just doing research on
Of
that.
our 5-year plan.
So,
Our 5-year plan.
you write this down on the 5-year plan board, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The white wall, and then a week later you get this email.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
And that was in October 2022, I believe.
Yeah.
And then February 2023, Live Holistic Essential Oils have
We launched
has
the
launched
first,
the first 5. And then since then, we launched 5 more, expanded to 10 ml bottles, and USDA organic certified.
So from October to February.
5 years went to 5 months.
I was gonna say, I was trying to do the math. So a 5-year plan got done in 5 months.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's only God. Like,
Yeah.
to be honest, like that's
We didn't tell anybody. We told the whiteboard. And we were like
Right.
ourselves, we were talking about it. But yeah. We were
Wow.
we have the reason I'm saying that, or the reason why we say that is because we have no explanation.
Right.
Like
yeah.
it's almost like when we talk about that our phones are listening to us. Like we'll be chatting about the subject,
Yeah.
and then you go on Facebook, and then the same product that you were talking about with your friend or with your cousin popped
Right.
up on your thing.
Just shows up.
It's like that. It's almost like we were just writing it, and then we were thinking about it, and then we were even like so excited about in 5 years.
Right.
We were like, imagine in 5 years we'll have our own essential oils. That'll be so cool.
Yeah.
And then it just happens.
It just happened
And
right
then
away.
we have the oils in front of us, and we're like,
That's
wait.
amazing.
But then we have to pay for them. So,
Right.
so, but all in all, like we were so happy about the whole, how it all turned out. And I think that goes back to show that men have many plans, but God's purpose for you remains. Like he knows, like we can plan until we blow in the face, which is, there's nothing wrong with planning.
Yeah.
But if you commit it like one way or the other, if it's a yes from God or no from God, they're both answers, and they're both answers that will benefit you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there are a lot of, in fact, a lot of the things that you see here is like, it's, this in itself is 2 years in the making before we launch it.
Yeah.
Or before we open the shop. We've been planning it for 2 years.
At this
This
exact
specific spot,
Really?
even though this specific spot was occupied,
With a little sign on paper with pen written, vape shop coming soon. And we're like,
so
okay.
we used to walk past this place like for 2 years, and we used to like, you know, just
Admire.
we used to admire it, and we used to look. Every time we walk past this place, we look through the window.
Yeah.
And there's nothing inside, and just walls broken down and all this other stuff.
If
Right.
only there were cameras in here.
Yeah.
Really,
You have to.
That would be
The mic is, sorry.
if only there was cameras in here, I would see like us like up against the windshield. Trying to-
the windshield,
Not
the window. Yeah,
the
yeah.
window, yeah. Peeking in, but
That would be comedy gold to be able to see that.
Yeah.
Looking back over the years, you guys.
Yeah, for 2
the
years.
progression of 2 years
Yeah.
of us looking through.
So you'll be looking through, and imagine no plan on how to finance it, nothing. We didn't, up until now, we forgot how we did all of this.
Yeah.
And we are debt free. We have no debts, like
Wow, that's amazing.
business, personal, we're debt free.
A Dave Ramsey fan over here.
A Dave Ramsey fan.
No, but yeah, we don't even know how to finance it. And yet, like 1 year later, we're still debt free,
Wow.
which is crazy. Like it's
Yeah.
yeah, we went around some places, tried to shop for some, you know, some finances here and there. They made it quite difficult for us, but we thought, nah, okay, we'll figure it out along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just the whole process from when this place was vacant, there was nothing happening along this you know, this place here, this whole. And then, you know, just, I don't even know, like all of a sudden it was vacant. And this is another funny thing. So 2 years later, because we already contacted the landlords and we showed them that we are interested. We told them, hey, we are interested in this, and they told us it's occupied. And then we told them, but there's no one there.
Yeah,
But
they're
imagine,
paying their rent, so we can't pick them up. So.
and imagine we are like asking about all of these questions, and we don't even know how to set up a shop.
Right.
All of that time, like asking, and then they said, "Oh no, there's someone still paying rent there. We don't know whether they will do what they were gonna do there." Anyways, 2 years later, she received a call from a friend who was driving past and said, "That place that you guys always talk about, that place that you guys always talk about, I saw that they were just they put up a vacant, like it's vacant for rent
Yeah.
sign."
Wow.
And we live just across the road. We came down straight, came straight down to come and talk with the landlords.
Okay.
And they told us that they've given it to someone already.
Oh my
In
goodness.
5 minutes.
And we
Wow.
were like, we were waiting for 2 years with no plan to set up this whole thing. And you're telling us that it's already taken.
In 5 minutes. Wow.
Yeah, you can share about that.
Whoever was interested that fell through. I don't know. Do we know who that was? I don't think so. Yeah. So
We were told to wait for another couple of days.
yeah, but they still showed it to us. We loved the space. Like it needed work. We painted the walls. We fixed the flooring. We added a wall. So we did our fair share of work to it. But right when we saw it, we could see the vision of this is where the storefront part is going to be. We thought we would have DIY classes in the back. Not thinking that we needed room for storage too. So now storage is in the back, office space is in the middle. But we also learned that it's not, the bathroom that we have isn't ADA certified. So technically having classes in here wouldn't really be the best. So that's just another, a lesson learned where we can just grow from that. And
Right.
we'll have to have DIY classes elsewhere, but like
Maybe
in
at the
another part
Strand.
of at the Strand and connect with another small business in Hamburg.
Yeah. So now that we're on that topic of connecting with other businesses in Hamburg, you guys do a really good job of that.
Thank you.
For starters, if you haven't checked their store out in person yet, you'll see depending which way you're looking, on the one side of the building, they have dog bowls set up outside. But aside from that, just being, super pet friendly, you also do a lot with the Our Town Foundation, and you guys also do a lot to help support and promote other businesses. What does that community involvement mean to you guys?
I feel like, I don't know, I have just the best analogies today, but when the tide rises, everybody is lifted. So like if we uplift and support all the businesses around us, it benefits all of us. And also like we're small business owners, we understand the struggles and we
Right.
want to we want to support them as much as possible by like sharing their posts, shopping with them, and as part of wanting to see Hamburg succeed.
Right. Yeah, and I think the sense of community for us is really important, and like in any way that we can support, we will support. We have our nephews. They play football. They play wrestling. They play baseball. Soccer, baseball, and so we're really passionate about that. We're passionate about supporting them. So that's why this year we supported the Hamburg Youth.
Hamburger youth.
Yeah, the
Football and
Hamburg
cheer.
Youth Football and Cheer Association.
Oh, wow.
And they were really grateful, and we didn't know that they told us that we are the first like biggest sponsor of their thing that they've ever received.
Wow.
And we were thinking we should have moved that down.
Did we just overdo it?
I was like,
No, but we're very happy to support. When they came in, because I saw Hamburg area youth in football and cheer,
Yeah.
and the first thing I asked was, like I said, are my nephews, like, is this their team?
Yeah.
And she was like, yep, I know them. And that's when I'm like, sold. Like,
yeah. Last year, even though we just opened last year, we made it a point that we supported a couple of events, and the main one that we supported last year was the Hamburger Festival. Just because we support the idea of showcasing like our small town of Hamburg
Right.
to the community and to like everyone else that are coming in as visitors. And that's what now we have it as part of our plan too, that every year we will choose something that we will support, but not in a big way, but like like that'll be like our thing for that year.
Yeah.
So last year was the Hamburger Festival. This year was the youth football. Next year will be something else. We got our eyes on a couple of things, but that's what she said, and that's my father-in-law was the one who always say that to us. Her dad,
Yeah.
that a rising tide will lift all ship, and she always
is that where I got that quote from? I was wondering where that came from.
Yeah, and that's
She was ready to give herself all the credit. She was like, I'm in a metaphor state today, you know?
the glacier. And
You can't win them all.
yeah, but he always tells us that like a rising tide will lift all ship, and always remind us to think of that. And that's why, like going back to your question, supporting other small businesses here. Like whoever that we can like share the story and have them being part of our social media, because we have like quite a number of following on our social media platforms.
Right.
We always try to share those stories and just helping out. But then we also do learn a lot from them as well. You'll see we got that chalkboard that we just put out, but that's inspired by AEC, the thrift Hazel, because they put out stuff like that outside.
Yeah.
So we
Legata
thought,
has it.
Neil Ferry, they have that flag. So we are planning to put a flag to here,
Okay.
and it's so cool to have. And imagine, like this last year, none of these businesses were here.
Yeah.
And now they are here, and it's so cool. And we are learning from each other, and we are like looking at things that they are doing. Oh, we can do it that way, but we add our own twist to it. So Neil Ferry, thank you for introducing the flag, the big flag.
And the dog bowl idea, that came from Nobody Apothecary,
Okay.
Amelia.
Yeah.
So thank you, Amelia.
So thank you, Amelia,
And,
for the dog bowl idea. The flag is the wine place. What's the name? The one across.
Lucky Leprechaun.
Yeah. So they had the flags, and then we saw Neil Ferry had the flag. Now we're in the process of designing our own flag.
Wow.
Those just like small things, things
Right.
that we see inside the shop, that that inspires us to maybe add it to ours. I think we are all helping each other.
Yeah.
And goes back to that rising tide will lift all ships.
Yeah. You see, like when I started Across the Way LLC, it was always put on my heart from very early on in my professional career of like small business owners, and like that's the backbone of any community. And my motto for the business was, our community thrives when your business succeeds. And everything that we just talked about is so true, and that's like what really pulled me to coming and wanting to focus a lot of my energy on Hamburg business, because the first person that I worked with in the Hamburg area was Mal at Hazel's Cafe. And seeing all of her involvement, and then seeing what Mayfield, the sister parent company, what they do with all the community involvement. And then through that, I got connected with Lynn at Our Town Foundation, started to see that bigger picture, then run into you guys, run into Bettina with Thrift and Thrive, and just seeing the many more people that I could name drop, but I'm gonna say, for time's sake, we're gonna stop it there. Seeing that community involvement, like my favorite thing to do right now is when I am scrolling on social media and I see the same post 5 times, like pretty much back to back to back to back to back, but it's because of one business is posting it, and then it's you guys are sharing it, and then Hazel shares it, and then AEC is now sharing it, and then Thrift and Thrive is sharing it, and then Rita's Hamburg is sharing it. It's like you just see all these things that are posted, and that for me, that just lights me up because of it shows that community aspect of Hamburg. And I think like the moral of it is, like you guys said, as the higher the tide, the higher the ship rise with it as well. So I think that's great. And you guys really, I've noticed, have really helped that. And we're gonna take a turn here, and I think it's gonna be fun. I think for some of the business owners that are in Hamburg, they will look at a business like yours and Hazel's and now AEC, even Thrift and Thrive will throw in there, that have a really strong social media presence, and then just throw that on you guys of like, well, you guys need to be doing better, like to help all these other businesses out. And it's like, well, you guys are, you guys are doing the things. And we've even talked about this. This is, I hope Lynn doesn't get mad at me that I'm going to do this, but so we have been in the talks of getting a panel set up and opening it up to the public for local business owners, where you guys, Mal from Hazel's, myself, and might be adding more to it, but to give the information of what's been working for us back. And I think that's something that I really also hope that people get to see from this interview with you guys and with these other businesses that are doing well, is getting to learn from you. Because there's nothing wrong with you guys, not even stealing, but I would say sharing ideas amongst each other. Because of when one business succeeds, every other business around it will naturally succeed as well. But looked like you were going to say a comment.
No, I was going to say like how other businesses inspire us, and then we're in very different niches. So even like the chalkboard idea, we got that straight from our neighbors, and we're like, wow, that's a really good idea. And then we thought, well, let's try that for us as well. So that's, I was going to say, inspiration.
Yeah.
Because we were thinking of, just putting a A-frame board.
Not like, another 5x4 whiteboard, right?
I would love a whiteboard right out front.
Like Thrift and Thrive. So she always puts out that. So we were initially thinking of that. We're still working towards that. We're just trying to finalize the design. And then we saw the blackboard. There are a couple of other stuff that's been happening that we've been like looking at, and we were like, that's kind of cool. Lagata, like they have like a couple of things that they do differently, social media wise. Also like the way that they design the thing, inside it. We're just looking at all of these businesses, and we're thinking, like, what can we learn from them? What can we like implement that they are already doing? But at the same time too, we always like try to go in conversation with business owners around the area, and talk about maybe if they have questions for us, like if they need to like know, especially like I remembered when Lagata came in, and then Neil Ferry. Because they were the two after us, I think.
Right after us.
And they went through the same thing that we kind of like were trying to figure out, which was the hours. because they didn't realize that Hamburg closes on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So
Well, not anymore, because now we've got Hazel's open and AEC's open. So
there you go.
yeah, we're changing that. But Tuesdays it's still dead in Hamburg. But
Yeah, so then like we were like talking and sharing ideas and just telling them, oh, this is how it is here and then they're sharing with us to like what they're going through or what's working for them. And I feel like that's a cool or good place to be, especially with other businesses that are around you, to have that good relationship and just like a helping relationship as well, like just helping each other out and finding inspiration from others at the same time.
Yeah. There's room for all of us to grow.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
For sure.
So for me personally, when I think about the holistics side of things, it's very new to me, right? And I always come in here whenever I ask questions, and you'll throw something back. I'm like, no, you're the expert. Like, I'm trying to learn this stuff. I will have to make a quick testimonial here for you guys, and then also I want you guys to share more about some of the stuff, because for me personally, and we're gonna get real transparent here. like we're going in for it.
I don't know what you're about to say, but
We're talking about the crystal deodorant.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
Talk about having BO.
I guess that preface would have been good too, but so for a lot of my adulthood, I struggled with excessive pit sweat. And that would also then bring, the Italian sub shop scent, you know what I mean? As guys can relate to.
Girls can relate to.
So when I remember, like this year, I started the transition of going from all the stuff that has the aluminum in it to natural, but that would work for a little bit and then it would stop. And I remember I came in here, and the first time I ever came in here, I saw the crystal deodorant and I was like, that looks like it would never work, whatever, walk out. And then I think I saw you post a video on it. And then at the next Our Town Foundation meeting that we had, I pulled you aside and I was like, hey, look, be honest. Like, that crystal deodorant, does it actually work? And then you went on to explain, and what I really liked about this, and I'll share that as a testament to you as an expert in this and also your customer service, like you didn't tell me how well it worked for you. You went right to, so Dan, and you started to share from the guy side of it, which for me, I really appreciate it because of there are differences in our bodies,
Yeah.
And I appreciated that you shared that story. And then on top of that, when Dan came later, you then had him reaffirm it with everything. So then I was super excited. And what stinks is that was a Tuesday. So of course Hamburg shut down. So I had to wait till Friday to get it. But
I see the pun you just did there.
yeah, thank you. So I got it. I tried it that next day. And you told me that you didn't think you said it would definitely help with the BO, right? But it wouldn't help with the pit sweat. I've seen a huge shift in both since using both of those, and the detox bar.
Nice.
And now anytime I have people that are like, I just don't know, I'm like, you got to try this. So, because it works so well. And then seeing that work for me, that's why I came here today and I was like, all right, let's talk about hair care products, because I'm like, if that worked, I'm guessing more of the other stuff works. So talk more about getting into the all natural, the holistic products itself. Why is there such a benefit on top of it actually working the way that it should? What are the benefits that people don't get to see? Why is it so much better?
I feel as if it works with your body. It's working naturally. It's not forcing your body. Like deodorant, it'll block your pores. Sweat is natural. We're supposed to. Antiperspirant will block your pores and then cover it up with a perfume. So it'll block your pores, which is, it's natural to sweat, and then cover it up with just a synthetic fragrance. So then you'll be smelling like an onion sprayed with Axe. And that's, that's not really ideal either. So with the, like, for example, the crystal deodorant, that one works with the, like, reducing the sweating for you. I believe, so it doesn't block your pores. It lets you sweat as normal, but some people say that it helps them shrink their pores, so they're sweating less. That's a benefit that I actually didn't notice on myself, but everyone works differently. And then it kills the bacteria that causes the BO. So again, it's working with your body of just getting rid of the bacteria that's causing the stink, and then not doing anything else. It's just killing the bacteria that causes the stink. So it gets rid of that one thing that we're trying to get rid of, which is the BO, the onions.
Yeah, and I think, like, in general, because I think, that for us, one of the, when we bring in a new product, we look at it from, before we get it, we look at the brand, we look at the ingredients, we look at whether it's, sourced like naturally and all of this other stuff.
And read so many of the reviews.
Yeah, we'll go
what
through
everyone is saying about it.
Yeah, we'll go through reviews after reviews, because like one product can be sold by the brand itself, and then like it can be sold by other people that carry it, or other businesses that carry it. Maybe it could be like big stores, or like small businesses. So we'll go through everywhere that we see that brand or that product being sold. We'll go through the reviews and look at like what are people saying good about it, bad about it. And obviously we'll just go with the ones with the good ratings. Like if a product has like super high rating, they're rated well as well on, like, in terms of ingredients. People now use apps to check. So we check on all the apps. We check on the Yuka app, Think Dirty app, EWG app, and then we also check it on all AI. We plug it on AI and we run all of it. So we run it on ChatGPT. We run it on just to like give us that extra like information on like the whatever that we're gonna be carrying. So we run it on ChatGPT, Grok. We run it on DeepSeek. We run it on Copilot and Google AI. So we run it all on all, just to verify everything and look at all the ingredients and this and that. Because now with AI you can even like streamline the whole process, and you can ask it to like scout through the internet and analyze all of the reviews and then bring that back to you. So you can like we also do it automatically like that. And then we go ourselves and we look at everything and before we bring the products in. So,
and a lot of the products here, like, we were already using personally, like my whole skincare routine. Like, that's why we have Mad Hippie in here, and like same with oral hygiene and everything like that, the cleaners. But
so like she knows a lot about these things, like these products. So she will be like, oh, I know that brand, like we should look into this, we should look into that. And then she will be doing her own stuff. But what I was explaining is what I will. So I'll be doing this side of the research, and she'll be doing her side of the research. And then we bring it all together.
We do research very differently.
And then we get them into the shop. And I think also with that, a lot of our customers are also familiar with the brands. So when we say we carry Mad Hippie skincare, or we carry plain products, hair care product, a lot of our customers, they already know of these brands, because these are huge brands in the space, in the non-toxic space. And I think that's another thing about the Live Holistic store, is that some people come in and they're like, wait, you guys have all of these brands, but you're almost like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
like how come you have all of these like great brands in under one roof, but you're in this town in Hamburg? But that's part of the plan from the beginning anyway.
Yeah.
When we before we even opened, Dan was like, why, where do you get these products? And I'm like, oh, well, I get, our toothpaste from Risewell. I just order that online, like shampoo from Plain Products, like cleaners from Branch Basics. And he was like, so there's no place where you can get them all in one place? And I'm like, no. Like, what do you mean?
And I was asking specifically here in this area.
Yeah.
And I was asking her, if you want to restock your stuff, our stuff, if you want to do a restock, where can you go on a 10 or 30 miles radius, or even 50?
Yeah.
Where can you go and you get all of these things under one roof?
And there's nowhere to go. So that was another, idea with the storefront, is to make, my goal with posting on social media is always to make living a holistic, natural lifestyle simple and easy. Because I do think it should be simple, and the ingredients should be simple. And that was another reason why we opened the store, because now people can find all of these clean, natural, non-toxic brands under one roof.
That's great. And it's also cool to see the immensity of the back end stuff that goes into even allowing a product to be in your store.
Yeah, we were rejected many times by some of these brands that
we just got one rejection email yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Of one brand. We're not gonna mention the brand, but one brand that we've been really wanting to get. We got rejected yesterday.
Wow.
Yep.
And that's the third time they rejected us.
The third time.
And they'll reject us the fourth, but maybe on the fifth, they'll let us in.
Well, hey, maybe if you just name drop them now, maybe it gets back to them. They see it.
They'll be like,
put them on the hot
you
seat.
are banned for life.
That's
They'll
great.
be watching like, no, we're going to reject you at 10. But
you can explain like how some of these brands are so.
So like, for example, the brand right behind us, the Humble deodorant.
Okay.
Great deodorant brand. Like more of, we were talking about the crystal deodorant, which you run underwater and then apply, run underwater again.
Yeah, these guys.
Humble deodorant goes on more like conventional deodorant, but it's made with clean, natural ingredients.
Okay.
And does have that nice aroma to it as well, but it's completely naturally scented with essential oils. So they rejected us 3 times.
Wow.
But now whenever we post about them and they're in a post, they'll be one of the first to comment like something so nice and message us something nice.
Yeah, they said we love you or something.
And it just shows like rejection is a good thing sometimes. And like we love the brand. That's why we weren't giving up on them. And now I feel as if it's win-win for our storefront. It's win-win for them too, because we share about them a lot. And so, but there are some other brands that rejected us too, but they're still here.
Yeah. But it's not like, I know that a lot of our maybe like current customers and they would, they'll walk in and they see the brands and they're like, because that goes back to your question is like you understand that it's hard to get these brands in. And then, no, I'm just thinking customers would walk in, come, they see the brands, they do their shopping, and then they like it, and then but they don't really. A lot of them I know don't know that it's really tough to get these brands to approve, to have you carry their products. So and we are thankful. That's another way in which God is working. That in fact, which brand was that? I think it was Mad Hippie, the whole skincare brand at the back there.
Yeah.
Those guys are really tough to go into, because they are a huge brand. We we'd be down in New York, and we'll see the billboard and the stuff like on all over, and we're like, oh, if like we should get many.
Yeah.
But then finally we had the chance to get them. They rejected us, and then they wanted to know more about us. We had to send in photos of like the store, and the problem was there was nothing in the store. There was like walls, like the rubble, so everywhere. There was nothing here.
Paint cans.
Yeah, paint cans and
The painting blankets.
yeah. So they wanted a photo of the signage outside. We don't have any signage. We just have a door. So what we did was we did exactly that. So we took the photo of the door, and then we took a photo of the wall, and then we told them, this will be painted, and there will be a nice shelf here, and the outside as well. We're planning to get signage and everything, but this is where your product will be. And then, we were fortunate enough they approved of that.
They approved that one.
Well,
They did.
They had to interview us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they had to interview us. We got on a call. We explained to them like that we are, starting off and this and that, and they gave us the green light to carry their product.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, for them to sell us the products. Yeah.
And that one, I wouldn't want any other skincare brand except Mad Hippie, because that's what I've been using for the past 5 years.
Yeah, that was a huge.
If we couldn't get them, I'd be like, oh my gosh.
Like,
Right.
what can we sell?
Yeah, so I'm very grateful that everything worked out so well with them.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool too, especially being in the industry that you guys are in, that you use. I don't want to say everything because I don't know for certain, but like you use a lot of the stuff that you sell here.
Probably everything except the diaper balm.
Yeah, she uses
Everything. So when people ask, like,
I was gonna make a really, I was gonna go in a comment for the diaper balm part, but then I was like, no, that's not good for this interview. But anyway, continue.
So when people ask like what I think of the products, I give them my personal, like I know, like, oh, if you want very minty toothpaste, this is the one. If you want more of a mild mint, this is the one. Or everything like how to use the dryer balls properly, and tips that I learned on using products and everything. Like even the deodorizing powder, that's one of our newer products. I've been sprinkling it in our sink at night, so then in the morning our whole kitchen just smells so nice and fresh. Wow. And that's a usage that's not written on the bottle, but that's a usage that I can tell people, like, this is like how I've been using it, and I've been using it in other ways too, but that's one thing that is such like a nice simple trick to use. But yeah, and also when people want to start a skincare routine, that I feel so giddy when people are like, I have no skincare routine right now, I just want to start. And then helping people build their own skincare routine based off of what their skin needs, like dry skin, acne prone skin, anything like that. I can speak from my own personal experience of using each product. So I can say, I can very confidently create a very good skincare routine for them.
How about I put you in the hot seat right now?
Bring it.
Let's do it live.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I really don't have a skincare routine, so
Oh, this is great.
let's go after it.
So do you have dry skin, oily skin?
Depends on where. So like face gets pretty oily, but I think that's from the hair. But then like arms and even like the scalp it's like very dry, which is weird.
I think the face.
So we'll start with the face.
All right.
And it kind of sounds like you're a little bit more oily prone.
Okay.
So I would recommend the jelly cleanser, which is also good for combination skin.
Okay.
I know there's women watching this too. It's great for taking off makeup, which I don't think you're wearing any.
No,
but
we didn't do that before the interview. So
no touch-ups.
yeah.
But the jelly cleanser is great for just melting away all impurities, and especially since your hair is over your forehead, any dirt that your hair attracts just from the air and everything is going to be on your skin a little bit more. The jelly cleanser helps melt that away really nicely. So it also helps reduce blackheads. And when you're washing your face, this is something that I started only in January, is using a cone jack sponge, but I can't believe I went 32 years without using one, because now it's one of my favorite. I just love it. But the cone jack sponge also helps gently exfoliate your skin and helps your cleanser work even better, getting into your pores and everything. But since you're a guy, you probably want your skincare routine to be as simple as possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you didn't want the jelly cleanser, the Kula Palms charcoal soap is another one. And that one's from Fiji, where Dan is from.
She's got it.
Yeah, he
using
did
it?
hook me up with that when we did the crystal deodorant.
Oh, nice.
He also very highly talked about that bar and everything. So
you can use that on your face too, and underarms and whole body. And then after that, what are your other, like acne, hyperpigmentation? I'm just naming things. I'm not saying anything about your skin right now.
No, go ahead. Do the full analysis.
No.
I don't necessarily, other than like what we talked about before, I don't normally struggle with acne.
Nice.
Just the summer season coming around and the extra oily hair, like we talked about, that would be the issue. But actually it was weird. This past week, I really noticed it, but like my arms just looked like, you can even see, like dry. So I didn't know, like that just came out of nowhere. I'm not sure where that really came from. So that would be probably the next thing I'd notice anyway.
For your arms, the tallow is a fan favorite. We've actually just sold our 500th jar of tallow.
Wow.
And we started selling it around Thanksgiving.
Okay. So it's been pretty hot of an item.
Yeah, and a little goes a long way. So you just put a little bit on, rub it in, it absorbs in really nicely. And since it's tallow, it's really similar to the oils our skin naturally produces, so it won't leave your skin greasy.
Okay.
And so that would be for your arms.
Number 3 on the list. No, number 3 on the list of...
comedogenic?
No, we sold 500 jars.
Oh, okay.
But it's so
third bestseller.
It's top 3,
Okay. Wow.
I think number 1 is the essential oils. Number 2 is the shampoo and conditioner, really popular. Number 3 is the tallow.
Okay.
But then you needed a face moisturizer too, so you can put tallow on your face, but then the Mad Hippie face cream is also very light and won't make your skin like greasy at all.
All right.
So cleanse and moisturize. That's like
Cleanse
the
and
most
moisturize. All right.
clean, simple, perfect boy routine for skincare.
You agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I think the perfect skincare routine for you is the one that you're going to stick to. So for me, like I view my skincare routine as self-care, and I like a nice long routine, not because like I need a long skincare routine. I view it as self-care. I like doing my skincare routine like nice and slow, taking my time, and because that's what works best for me, because I enjoy it. But if you're not going to enjoy the long routine and you're not going to stick to a long routine, cleanser, moisturizer is all you need.
What? Sorry, now I'm asking the question. So what is good for anti-aging, or like helping like with?
For anti-aging for the face.
Yeah, for the face.
The Super A serum. That's Super A serum. And that has 3 different types of retinoids in it, like retinol. And because of the retinoids in it, it should only be applied in the evening, because retinol can make your skin a little bit more sensitive to the sun. So then eat that only in the evening step routine. And that's something I tell everybody who is starting their routine, so they know when to use it as well. Oh, I forgot SPF. SPF is so important, especially in the summertime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a couple
so many options of sunscreen. I'm a big I see a lot of people, especially when people are switching over to natural, non-toxic ingredients, they see the ingredients in some sunscreens and they're like, oh my gosh, like I can't wear any sunscreen, like it's bad. And you know, sunscreen still has a purpose, and there is cleaner options. Like all the sunscreens we carry are clean, made with natural ingredients, reef safe, and safe for your skin.
Okay.
So the solution is not to avoid sunscreen altogether. It's just to find a clean sunscreen that works for you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great. So I know for you guys, we'll wrap up here shortly. You guys have a big anniversary coming up. And we're not talking about personally for the business. June 14th, right?
June 14th.
Yep, that's our Storefront's ribbon cutting anniversary.
June 14th, 2 years?
1 year.
1 year.
1 year.
1 year. Okay, 1 year anniversary for the ribbon cutting. So being able to look back over this past year and seeing what you guys have been able to accomplish, and knowing that you guys have your white wall with all of your business planning and all of that, when it's all said and done, what do you want the legacy of Live Holistic to be?
That's a really good question. In my honest answer, I want Live Holistic to be known like, oh, she made it really easy for me to make those swaps. And also not being judgmental at all, because I feel like myself included, when I first started learning about non-toxic ingredients and toxic ingredients as well,
I was at the other end of it. I was receiving
but I was
From
so
her?
yeah.
because I used like I use, you know what we use.
Yeah.
Like
whatever's cheapest or it kind of smells the nicest in the store. Yeah, you just walk out with it. Yeah.
But I was learning more and more about those ingredients, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
like these people I love. No, but these people, it just shows how much I care about you. Like these people I love are using ingredients that could be harmful to their health, and I don't want that for them. So I was like a little forcefully tried to get them to switch. It took me 2 years to convince him to switch to a natural deodorant, and now he's like the biggest advocate for it, the crystal deodorant.
But one thing that she changed with her approach is that she realized, and we could see it, like she realized that no, you don't have to force it down someone's throat, or you don't have to bash them with non-toxic stuff. You know?
Yeah.
So that's one thing that she realized very early on her journey, and or maybe maybe late. I'm joking. No, but she realized that, and I think that helps her freely share with people.
Right.
And also helps with her messaging as well, where she wasn't forcing anything on anyone, but she was just saying, this is an alternative. And she gets a lot of backlash on some of the things that she says on social media, because there are people who are really so focused on that, and they want everyone else to you should be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, and this and that. And so then she gets backlash on that on social media, but that's one thing that we know, and that's where we operate from. If you walk in, people would walk in with fizzy drinks with a soda, and then they walk in and they're like, is it okay if I bring this in? And then because we understand we understand where they're coming from, because that's always the case. Someone who is in the non-toxic space, or who is in they want everyone to be like that,
right?
But then we learn from that, and we're we always tell them, no, bring your soda, your fries, your whatever. We look at me. but we just, for anyone out there who come to our shop, and don't feel that we are judging you. We are not judging you.
I think every swap makes a difference, and that's why now I preach one swap at a time.
Yeah, that's where the one swap at a time came
and
from.
you don't have to be perfect to make that one swap. Even if you only swap out your cleaners and that's your only swap for years, that makes a huge difference in your home, like everybody living in your home, it makes a huge difference. So I think the best approach now that I'm realizing is like approach it with kindness and empathy, and like there's no judgment, because we've all like you really have to do a lot of research to understand about the ingredients. So if somebody doesn't know about them, that's no judgment on them, because you know it is a lot of research and everything. So yeah, one swap at a time.
Because one thing that we've been learning recently as well is a couple of years now, is that everything that we do, they compound. Just like if we are investing in the stock market or whatever, just like that, every action that we take compounds. Whether and for us not to underestimate the effort that we put in anything. Saying it's like, because sometimes, like, take for example, like I wanted to start to lose weight, right? And then I go for a 10-minute walk, and I come back and I started thinking that didn't change anything. Now that's one thing that we are trying to change in other people's mindsets, or to help, drive that message that no, that 10 minutes is the beginning of something new. And that everything compounds, that everything will compound like over time. You just have to keep on doing it. So if it's a small swap, that's fine. Like, we will celebrate that with you. That's it. Like, there's no judgment from anywhere or from any of us. But yeah, that's something that we've been learning, that everything, like, it builds over time. And for us not to underestimate the effort that we put in, just because that we are not there yet, doesn't mean that, it's not worth it. Like, I've been on this, I've been trying to work on my weight for a couple of months now. And it started off from literally like a 30-minute walk that I thought wasn't enough. And I was like, this is it's not worth it, And I went back home. It was really cold, and I was thinking, I don't know, man. But then there's one thing that she told me that got me going, was that she said, right here, right now, right at this point in time, you are closest to your goal. You are closest to your goal right now that you've ever been. So, and I was thinking, no, that's true, because if I gain another pound, I'm 1 pound further from my goal if I started today. So I think that's the message that we always talk about, even when it comes to the business that we're in, swapping to non-toxic products and non-toxic lifestyle, that right here, right now, for those who are watching it, that you are closest to your goal, to your health goal, to your finance goal, to your life goal right now, in any time in your life. Like, you're closest, I mean, not any time in your life, because sometimes but you are, like, think of it that way, that you are closest to your goal right now. And also the second thing is, whatever that you do, whatever action that you take to move a bit more closer is not in vain. Everything matters, and everything will compound over time. So one swap at a time, no judgment.
There we go.
One swap at a time. Live holistic. That's great.
Yeah.
How can people follow along?
So you can follow me at Live Holistic on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the platforms, and then Live Holistic Store on all the platforms as well, Instagram and TikTok, Facebook.
Great.
Yeah, so
we have 2 different platforms, like one specifically for the store, and then one is where I share like all the things like DIYs and everything like that.
Great.
Yep.
Yeah, I think for the shop they can always come here to 342 State Street. We're here in
I
Hamburg.
forgot that part. Yeah. 342 State Street,
Yeah.
Hamburg, PA, and online at liveholisticstore.com.
Yeah, and if you come here, you will either see both of us here, or maybe just one of us, or you'll see my mother-in-law, her mom.
My mom, she helps us
she helps
so
out.
much with restocking, making essential oil kits, everything.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Any final thoughts? Anything else you guys want to share that we didn't get to cover today?
Well, I think we just want to thank
Yeah.
the community and
Thank-
everyone that has been supporting us, family.
Thank you to all of the businesses around us. We're so happy to have like the perfect neighbors. And to everyone
Customers, yeah.
all the customers and everybody who follows us on social media, whether if they could make it into the storefront or not, we're just really appreciative of everybody being there and showing up and following along on the holistic journey, making one swap at a time.
One swap at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you guys for sitting down and chatting. I think
Yeah. Thank you as well
guys-
for
yeah.
having us.
I think what you guys have started in Hamburg, as we've already, to make this go for full circle here, is something that's going to be looked back on as this coming to Hamburg as being the catalyst. So I'm super excited to see what the 5-year plan looks like, if stuff can happen in 5 months for you guys, and to see your continued success, your continued support of this community, and just watching where Hamburg grows. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
appreciate it, guys.
I think, thank you so much for having us on this, and maybe you can just talk about your DIY classes that you're planning for
Oh,
that
yeah.
for the future.
For the future, this isn't the 5-month plan, 5-year plan.
5-year to 5-month plan? Are we
Yeah.
we're going to speak it out into existence right now?
Yeah. Where's our whiteboard? But we do plan on, especially since DIYs are a major part of what I post about on social media, we want to have DIY classes, probably at the Strand around the corner, which is full circle because the Strand was my first job when I was 14.
Oh my goodness.
So we'll do classes like DIY cleaners, DIY self-care things like bath bombs and scrubs and
Make and take.
make and takes. So you can come in, like bring a friend, bring your mom, bring your sisters, and you will supply everything, show you how to make it, and then you get to leave the class with what you made, and then you'll know exactly how to make it again.
And then you'll also get those who are going to be part of the class will get a certain discount for the shop, like a discount,
Oh, wow.
a coupon for the shop as well. So, I think the DIY classes, a lot of people have been asking about it. It's also been part of our plan from the beginning, but we realized that a lot of there's some people who just want something fun to be a part of, like baking, and so DIY, like mixing your own, like making your own bath bombs or making your own cleaners or laundry detergent or whatever it is. Like some people just want to be part of those type of activities,
Right.
and then there are some who really want to take control of what products that they use, so they make it themselves. So those are the area of interest that we are looking at. Those who just want to have fun, and those who want to take control over what ingredients that are in the products that they use. And that's why we have the DIY classes coming soon.
Coming
soon.
soon. We
Coming
don't
soon.
know
Stay
when,
tuned.
but coming soon.
Yes. That's great. Well, that's definitely something that I think everybody will be able to look forward to, because that is definitely something that I think is needed as well. So that's great that you guys are going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to them.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, if you've watched this far, thank you. And stay tuned and keep supporting small business. That's all I got.
Awesome. Thank you.
So much.
If you enjoyed the highlights of today's conversation, drop a like, comment, and share this video so that more people can hear this amazing story. If you want to watch the full 1 hour unedited version, click the link in the description. Don't forget to follow this page to experience even more amazing stories. And remember, our community thrives when local business succeeds. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.